Hey champions, how are you all? When it comes to India's ICC trophies or ICC victories, many of you might think 2011 World Cup victory was great or 1983. But my personal favorite is 2007 T20I World Cup because it has many reasons to be my favorite. This video is going to be the India's path to T20I World Cup 2007 victory. So let's get into the video. So before India going into the T20I World Cup 2007, India had three challenges. The first biggest was the mental upset in ODI World Cup 2007. India lost to Bangladesh and then won a great match against Bermuda, but again lost to Sri Lanka and exited the ODI World Cup in the earlier group stages itself. Indian fans are very sad due to the early exit in the 2007 ODI World Cup. The second backset was that Indian trio, Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar and Sourav Ganguly decided not to play in this T20 World Cup. And third biggest challenge was that before the start of this T20 World Cup, India had played only one T20 international, that too against South Africa, which India had won. So India had barely any experience of winning this tournament. Dhoni was named the captain of this tournament and India went to South Africa to play that match. So India was set to play against Scotland and Pakistan in the group stages. But Dhoni's first match as a captain, that was against Scotland, and that match was called off due to rain. So now India was in a situation that India should either win the match or India should avoid a greater loss. So India started to bat. But Mohammad Asif went on against Indian batsmen and took 4 wickets. India were down to 36 for 4. But Uthappa and Dhoni had a good partnership. Uthappa went down to score 50 before he got out. Dhoni scored an important 33 runs and got out in the last over. As a result, India scored 141 for 9 in their 20 overs. India's batting collapse was avoided due to a good partnership between Uthappa and Dhoni. If Pakistan win this match in 14.4 overs or lesser overs, India would have to go out of the competition and Pakistan and Scotland would go to the next round. India was standing on a knife. Pakistan chase began. But as Indian batting collapsed, Pakistan batting also collapsed. They were down to 47 for 4. And their biggest pillar of support was Misbah-ul-Haq. And Shoaib Malik and Shahid Afridi gave a good hand to Misbah-ul-Haq. As a result, the match went down to the last over. In the last over, Pakistan needed just 12 runs to win. In the first 4 balls, they were managed to take 11 runs. They needed just 1 run of the last 2 balls to win the match. Srishant bowled and Misbah-ul-Haq was not able to hit the ball. So the Pakistan now needed 1 run of 1 ball to win the match. And Srishant bowled again and it was a mistimed shot. Ball went to the fielder and fielder throw to Srishant and Misbah-ul-Haq was run out and the match ended in a tie. Dhoni's first match as a captain for India team was abandoned due to rain and second match as a captain was a tie. There were no super overs that date. So they need from India 5 bowlers and from Pakistan 5 bowlers has to bowl and hit the stumps. It was called as bowl out. From Pakistan it was Yasir Arafat, Umar Gal and Shahid Afridi bowled their 3 balls and they all 3 missed the stumps. But from Indian point of view, Sehwag, Harbhajan and Uthappa bowled and 3 all were managed to hit the stumps. Yes, Uthappa bowled. He was not a bowler in the team, but while practicing, the Indian team found that Uthappa was able to hit the stumps cleanly. That's why Uthappa also bowled. So Indian bowlers were managed to hit the stumps and as a result India won the bowl out and India took the 2 important points and went on to the top of the table and qualified to the Super 8 stages. So now India needs to play against New Zealand, England and South Africa in order to go into semis. India played against New Zealand in their first game in the Super 8. New Zealand got a good score and India lost the match. India chased and India lost the match by 10 runs. So now if India needs to win this cup, every match from this point is a knockout for India. If India loses one match, India will be out of the competitions. So the two teams which are more experienced in T20 international was Australia and England. So India now needs to play against England and win the match. India started to bat first. And India had a great opening partnership. Sehwag and Gambhir added 136 runs for the first wicket. But suddenly Sehwag, Gambhir and Uthappa lost their wickets and Yuvraj Singh and Dhoni were batting. At the end of the 18th over, there was a small verbal fight between Flintoff and Yuvraj Singh. And Stuart Broad came in to bowl the 19th over. And you know the history. Yuvraj Singh hit Stuart Broad 6 balls out of the ground for 6 sixes in a single over. He set a twin T20I record. First is that most runs scored by a batsman in T20I International. Second is the fastest 50 in a T20I International, which is till now non-breakable. So it might be broken in the future, but till now it is not broken. India crossed their 200 mark for the first time in the T20 internationals, and India got a score of 218 runs, which was the biggest target for England. But they had the experience, but they were managed to take only 200 runs, and India won the game by 18 runs. Now India needs to win against South Africa. South Africa is a team which hadn't lost even a single game in this tournament up to the match they played against India. So India needed to win this game in order to go to the semis. The hero of the last game, the man who hit the 6 sixes against Stuart Broad, had an injury and has to sit outside. Dinesh Karthik replaced him. India had a decent start, but India were down to 61 for 4. Rohit Sharma made an important 50 runs, and Dhoni's 45 runs took India to 153 for 5 in their 20 overs. So India needs to just win this match in order to go to semis. But if India needs to stay in the top of the table, India's target was 142. If South Africa managed to score 142, India have to go to the second position in the table. So this was the same target set to Pakistan in the group stages, which India defended it. So match began. Sreesanth had an expensive start, but India came back. Graham Smith edged the ball and Dinesh Karthik flew to take the catch. It was one of the greatest catch in T20 internationals. And then Mark Boucher and Alvin Mokel was on the crease. They got a very decent start and took their total to 100 runs. And Sreesanth then took the wicket of Mark Boucher. Afterwards, the rest of the batting lineup collapsed and they were able to take only 116 runs in their 20 overs. In order to South Africa to qualify to the semis, their personal target was 126 runs. As South Africa was not able to score 126 runs in this match, team which hadn't lost even a single game in this tournament has to go out of this tournament as they lost to India. So India qualified to the semis by taking the first place in the Super 8 stages, and Pakistan and New Zealand played their first semis and Pakistan won it, and second semi-finals was between India and Australia. Yes, it was the mighty Australians. All the 2K kids might not know how strong was Australia in 2007. Winning against Australia was a dream of all other countries. They were such a strong side. Ricky Ponting had an injury. As a result, he had to sit out, and Adam Gilchrist was made the captain. India began to bat first. India had a decent start, but lost their 2 wickets, and India were down to 41 for 2. And then came in the Yuvraj Singh, who was the hero of the other night against England. And he scored 70 runs of just 30 balls. That was an important knock of that tournament. As Uthappa and Dhoni also managed to get 30 plus scores, India were able to take 188 runs for 5 wickets in their 20 overs. And Australia came into bat. Srishant took the early wicket of Gilchrist, and as Ricky Ponting was not playing, Irfan Pathan took the wicket of Brad Hodge also. But their pillar of support, Matthew Hayden, was still playing on. But at an important moment, the Srishant took the wicket of Matthew Hayden. The wicket of Adam Gilchrist and wicket of Matthew Hayden, which was taken by Srishant, was the biggest turning point in that semi-final. Andrew Symonds played a very handy knock of 43 runs in that same match, but Pathan took the wicket of Andrew Symonds. So in the last over, 22 runs was needed, and Joginder Sharma came into ball, and Michael Hussey was batting. First two balls was a dot ball, and in the third ball, Michael Hussey hit the ball in the air, and Yuvraj Singh took the catch, and the match ended up there. The Australians lost the semi-finals against India, and India won the match by 15 runs against the ODI world champions, and Australia has to go out of this tournament. So India is set to play against Pakistan in the finals. India and Pakistan were the two teams who had an early exit in the ODI World Cup earlier that same year. In the same year, the comeback of these two teams was so much inspiration. All credits to Pakistan team also. So it was the greatest comeback by both these teams. India batted second for only one game, that too against New Zealand, which India had lost. Even in the finals, India was batting first. As Sehwag had an injury, Yusuf Pathan made his international debut in that match, and he began his international career with a 6, but soon he lost his wicket. But in finals, let it be Yuvraj Singh, let it be Dhoni, let it be Uthappa, everyone failed to score, but it was one man who had a great innings that game. Gautam Gambhir scored 75 runs of 54 balls, which was crucial in that match. And Rohit Sharma's quick 30 helped India to get a score of 157 for 5 in the finals. And remember, this match was being held in Johannesburg, where 157 runs was not a big target, but this is the finals. Who knows what would happen? And Pakistan innings began. RP Singh took the important wickets of Hafiz and Kamran Akmal. Imran Naseer had a dream opening, but Robin Uthappa's run out of Imran Naseer was the turning point of that match. And until that moment, Imran Naseer was hitting the Indian bowlers to boundaries. Pakistan innings moved in slow pace. Yunus Khan had a good decent knock, but he also was got out. Shoaib Malik also got out, and Shahid Afridi gone out for duck in the first ball. And Pakistan was 77 for 6 in 11.4 overs. And Misbah-ul-Haq and Yasir Arafat was batting, and Pakistan needed 81 runs of 50 balls with having just 4 wickets in hand. Anything could happen, and the match was set for India's victory, but Pakistan had other plans. They began to fight. Yasir Arafat took an important 15 runs of 11 balls to support Misbah-ul-Haq. Yasir Arafat had lost his wicket, and in the last 4 overs, Pakistan needed 53 runs, and Harbhajan came into ball. First ball was a wide, and Misbah-ul-Haq hit Harbhajan to 3 sixes in that over, and the equation changed too much. Now, in the last 18 balls, Pakistan needed just 35 runs to win this game. And Sohail Tanvir was batting, and Srishant came to bowl. And Sohail Tanvir hit 2 sixes against Srishant over before Srishant took the wicket of Sohail Tanvir. And now Pakistan have lost 8 wickets, but Pakistan needed just 20 runs of the last 2 overs when RP Singh came into bowl. And that over was a special over in that T20I World Cup final. He bowled a great first 4 balls, and the 5th ball, he took the wicket of Umar Gull. And again, the match was in the favor of Indians, because Mohammad Asif came into play the last ball, and RP Singh could have taken the wicket of Mohammad Asif, but Mohammad Asif edged the ball, and the ball went to boundary, and 13 runs was needed of the last over. Yusuf Pathan bowled a single over in that match, which gave Dhoni 2 options. He could either bowl with Harbhajan Singh, the experienced spinner, or he could bowl with the inexperienced Joginder Sharma. And he decided let Joginder Sharma bowl the final and important over of this T20I World Cup final. First ball he bowled, it was a wide. Pakistan needed 12 runs of 6 balls. Next ball was a dot ball. Next ball, Misbah-ul-Haq danced down the pitch, hit Joginder Sharma straight over his head. As everyone was standing to check whether it was a catch, the ball went over the ropes and it was a 6. Whole Indian nation was in silence because Pakistan now needed just 6 runs of 4 balls with 1 wicket in hand. In the much tension ball, Joginder Sharma came into bowl the next ball. Misbah-ul-Haq saw that there was no third man in the final leg. So what he done was that he tried to scoop the ball. Most of the Indians thought that this would go at least for a boundary and Pakistan would need just 2 runs of the last 3 balls. But as the ball was in the air, the Ravi Shastri's commentary still is in my heart. This is what he told. The ball is in the air and Sreesanth is under it and takes it and India has won this match. Yes, India have won the inaugural T20I World Cup after a lot of struggles and lot of setbacks. And Indians lift the trophy under the new captaincy of Dhoni. And this was the greatest victory for India after many, many years. And Dhoni's era of captaincy began from that World Cup. So this was the greatest victory according to me, according to my heart. And that catch which Sreesanth took still is in my heart. It was one of the greatest victories for India. Irfan Pathan won the man of the match and Shahid Afridi won the player of the tournament. But Gambhir's knock of 75 runs of 54 balls was a much key to India's victory. This was the India's incredible journey to the victory of 2007 T20I World Cup in South Africa. I hope you would have liked this video. If you have liked this video, give a like to this video and share this video with your friends and family members and comment your memorable moment of the 2007 T20I World Cup. Thank you all for watching this video. This is Sabhari Suresh English channel.